Welcome, ladies and gents. My name is Samuel Parandroid, and I am the designer of Vectra, the living synthesizer, which is a procedural wavetable synthesizer. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about that and explain it and show it, because I had that question in the beta Discord channel where people can communicate and exchange about Vectra. And one guy was asking, what does it mean in the context of Vectra? And this is explained now to you in this video. Today we're going to talk about what procedural really means in Vectra. And yeah, the term procedural is frequently used in modern audio software, often without a clear technical definition. In the context of Vectra, however, this is a very specific thing that Vectra is doing. It's using mathematics, basically, or high math, to have a rule-based generative procedural system. A procedural system is the correct word for it. And I'm going to show you what it does in actuality and what it means for you as a sound designer, musician, etc. So first of all, let's talk about the wavetables, all right? Let's talk about those wavetables, and then also after that I explain VectraForge a little bit and how that works. Because, yeah, this is basically at the heart. And then, after that, I'm going to explain how the AWC Advanced Wave Core is working as well. Because that is, the third part of the engine, so to say. First of all, right now this is like a basic wavetable. So we can choose from our generative wavetables. Let's also turn the voices up a little bit on each side. And now we can hear it. This is literally just one basic shape. And then we have a quantum quantizer over here. One of our procedurally generated wavetables. Those get populated at runtime. So you will not find any compressed .wav files, as it's usually the case with wavetables in Vectra, because we can generate them. This is obviously also the reason why we can do VectraForge. If that procedural system would not exist, then this also what you're seeing right there, it could merely not exist. And yeah, that is a really, really important factoid. In this case, all of this system is, based on the procedural nature of our iGenerator system. And let's go on. We have our quantum quantizer. We can choose also harmonic manifold as a wavetable. That's also a DNA parent that I will show in a bit. And usually they are scannable, as you can see. Now I can scan it. Let's choose another cool one here. And those are somewhat from how they function. People think well, that's how I'm used to it, right? You choose a wavetable and there you go. But those wavetables, yeah, go look for them in the folder structure of Vectra. They are generated at runtime and based on really, really advanced mathematics, often from MIT. I'm really honest with that. Of course, there's hyper strong math behind all of that. You can believe that. It's not coming from nowhere. It's coming from that stuff for sure. The harmonic manifold and so forth, and the LSS, the spectral lattice, DNA parents and so forth. I know I'm talking gibberish now for most people, but just bear with me. I will show it to you. So those can already be morphed, but this is for a bit later maybe. Nevertheless, I can maybe quickly show it. So we have those wavetables which are already quite insane, And now what we can do is we can activate the live mode, DNA flux live mode. Now we are in the baked mode. So I can take, for example, Spectral FM and calculate it into that wavetable. So if I click Reforge, now I have that calculated into the wavetable. And this is, of course, only possible in a procedural system like that. Because people might confuse it also, like, this is not our FM topology. This is spectral FM. So it's like on a spectral domain, we can calculate it into our fluid wavetable system. I know it sounds really like outlandish, but this is just like what it does. So there you go. This is also like one of the options of AWC. Another option is we can activate the live, and now like I can literally morph in between this oscillator and in between a DNA parent. You know, one of those complex oscillator modular bits that are inside of Vectra, like the chaos core, like spectral model, and so forth. All the advanced parents are also accessible there. So I can then just switch over. So right now, like I can literally like change the DNA. It's not changing the oscillator. Like I am switching into a different wavetable structure. Is one of personally my favorite features, and it changes the way of how you can work with Vectra. It's way cooler than a third and a fourth oscillator, and yeah, it was one of the latest advancements in the procedural system from additions. The latest feature that got added was DNA flux. And some people don't understand it. I don't blame them, because like it needs to be explained since this is all a novel system. And therefore, you know, people literally, they don't have anything that they can compare it to. So then like they say like, it's like the same as Serum. It's so totally not the same as Serum. With all due respect, Serum has nothing to do with Vectra from the engine, from the design philosophy and intent. There's just like a ton of difference. Although I have great respect, of course, for the designers of all the other great synthesizers. And yeah, so we can switch over. But the AWC can do more. You have the warp mode. So we can check out that if you want. Like here we have again, like things that will change the structure of the wavetable because it is procedurally generated. So, you know, like I can switch over to just that one oscillator for now. Of course, you can also like modulate it if you want. So you can put macros, or you can put, for example, you know, whatever you want from these sources. And let's check another one out. Mirror, for example. It's like really dependent on the content, of course. As you can see, also warp has like a tremendous effect on like how the wave is performing. The issue there is like the naming convention, to be honest with you. I think there are some other synthesizers which are using, I think, the same name terminology, but it's like working completely different. So It's not easy to explain those things. But I created a little blog post exactly about that, which explains it really well. And you can read it, just check it out in the description box below. So we have, first of all, this live performance mode, which can be really cool. It really depends, as I said, on your setting and so forth and what you're using. And you can also activate here higher quality. This is actually really important. The AWC has linear or cubic high quality. So you can get a bunch of colors also with warp. But with mutate you can do the coolest shit in my opinion. So this is a little bit about AWC. And then what we also can do is, of course, generate wavetables and load them into the front. This is like, of course, at the core of Vectra. And we can go to the VectraForge, and then we can just like go to our DNA parents. There is a new feature there as well, which is like basically those presets that you can like select. And what you can do is, of course, you can send that to oscillators, or you can save it to your own personal library that will get populated here. But I'm going to use the send feature now. So, oops, like I hit accidentally the undo, which is also finally in. So this is the other part that is procedural from Vectra. Those are basically different DNA parents. This is your incubator where you like mix those 4 different DNA parents. And then you can send them or save them or export them. So this is A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, and D. And you can always set them. So we can go to spectral modal, for example. Change the material. And as you can see, what you are exporting here into the engine is like a scannable wavetable. So you get a lot of colors even out of one, but we can then like start to like mix them. So now it's mixed. By the way, we're just like listening to one oscillator. Now we're listening to two. What we also can do, of course, always is like just like increase the oversampling. So those ones are more simple ones, for example, harmonic drone, and then you have like really more complex ones. Ethereal glass, for example, is like a little bit more complex. We can always just send mixes of those 4 DNA parents. What we also can do is we can morph the parameters. If we want to like basically randomize them, we can do it. And then check out what is happening. I rarely do that. But you can use the new preset system that is like DNA parent centric. So it's like a new sub preset system only for the DNA parents. And those states of the engine can be saved and shared. This is also a cool thing in multiple ways. First of all, I can export it as a wavetable. Then I can use it in all synthesizers that support wavetable, like Vital, Serum, etc. And I can also save it to library. So we can just like say, for example, we can call that one North Star. And now it is in our Forge library. So then I can go here and just like, you know, select a different one and then go back here and I have North Star now on both oscillators basically. I'm gonna undo this because I don't really want it there right now, but the important thing is that you can like export them. If I hit export wavetable, then also you can like export it as a .wav compressed file, and then you can share it and do stuff with it. So this system is very immersive and a lot of fun. It's an offline generator, but then you can use your creations, and some of the parents are incredibly thick in their capability. Also, Chaos Core is a really, really, really strong parent, for example. And we can always choose one oscillator, or we can also choose it to send it to 2 oscillators. We can quickly swap, you know, send one oscillator there and send another oscillator there. And then once we are done, we can apply, of course, all the neat little things that we want to apply to it. And have fun with the sound that we created, but they are incredibly rich already when they come out of the Forge usually. So this is the good thing, is that out of the box, the thing is like really already producing incredible sound. And then you have like the entire engine, you know, to play with that, of course. let's turn this one more. Let's send another one, spectral modal, exactly. And then you can use them all together. For example, I can start, okay, calculate again FM inside this one. Or any other algorithm for that matter. I can like wavefold. Whatever you want. So, this is like the procedural systems from Vectra. Just scratching the surface, to be very honest with you. You have to play with them. People do incredible stuff with that. You see, you get like a lot of colors very quickly. This is the good thing. It's a lot of fun, guys. This much I can tell you. I'm always surprised when I use it, how immersive that system is. It's not easy to explain because, like, I get it. Tons of companies are throwing around the term without it meaning very much. But this is not the case in Vectra. It's, like, verifiably, factually so. And this is what it can do. It can do a bunch of other things that I didn't show right now. And of course, like a lot of the achievements of Vectra are also like in the design department. So basically, like, how are the things formed in a synthesizer in 2026? That's the big question. And Vectra is trying to find answers to that make sense and are enjoyable and immersive. And I'm so happy about, the feedback is blowing me away from some people. I really love it. Vectra is soon leaving the early access, very, very soon. And you can already join the Vanguard. You can join the worldwide community that is using Vectra. It is available for Mac Intel and Mac ARM, and as well, of course, for Windows PCs. And it will be available on more platforms really, really soon. This will be, of course, like one of our first goals after 1.0 will be expansion to different devices. etc. So thank you so much for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. And I will come up with more videos. There is a change in location very soon. I have some stuff in Asia that is going on. So like soon you will see a different surrounding of me, like maybe showing some stuff with Vectra. But nevertheless, thank you for the support. Subscribe to the channel, that's really important. Share this video with your friends that are maybe confused about Vectra, which I know there are some people who are like, what the fuck is this? And I guess like maybe I hope that this video gives a little bit of an insight. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. I gladly answer them if they are like good questions and, you know, answerable, of course. And with that said, I see you guys in the next video. Don't forget, you get 10% off with Vectra 10. Check it out at AudioNerds with a Z/Vectra. That's AudioNerds with a Z/Vectra. Peace out, guys and girls all over the world. Love you. See you soon.